A dimly lit video surfaced on the darkest corners of the internet. Grainy, shaky, and hauntingly silent, except for a distorted voice whispering, "What you're about to see could change everything you thought you knew about the entertainment industry." Static flickered. A shadowy figure slid a thick envelope marked classified across a table. Before we dive into this shocking story, hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. This is bigger than anything we've ever covered. The camera jolted, refocusing on the man sitting in the shadows. His face emerged from the gloom, and unmistakably Will Smith. But this wasn't the charismatic, grinning star the world adored. His eyes were hollow, rimmed with sleeplessness and filled with dread. His hands trembled slightly as he tapped the envelope. "I never wanted to be in this position," Will began, voice low, edged with fear and resolve. "But after what I found, there's no going back." It all started 2 months earlier at an ultra-exclusive Hollywood party in the Hollywood Hills. The kind of event with NDAs at the door, phones locked in Faraday bags, and security tighter than a presidential motorcade. Will was there for what he thought was just another networking night among the elite, producers, moguls, and untouchable celebrities. As the night wore on, Will noticed something off. Hushed conversations, glances that lingered a beat too long. A group gathered in the back room, not the typical laughter and champagne, but stern faces, low voices. He wasn't supposed to hear it, but as he passed the hallway near the study, a fragment of a sentence made his heart freeze. "The files stay hidden. No one, not the media, not the feds, can ever see them." A chill crawled down Will's spine. Moments later, a man he didn't recognize, tall, wearing an earpiece, probably security, brushed past him. As he did, something small and cold slipped into Will's blazer pocket. Will instinctively reached in. His fingers closed around a metallic USB drive with a label, "For your eyes only." Confused, he looked around. The man was gone. For the rest of the night, paranoia shadowed every step. Was it a prank, a trap, or worse, something real? Back at home, curiosity battled fear. Finally, he plugged the drive into a laptop unconnected from any network. What opened wasn't just data, it was an abyss: scanned documents, offshore bank statements, wire transfers, surveillance photos, transcripts of coded phone calls. At the center of it all, one name repeated over and over: Sean Diddy Combs. But it wasn't just financial crimes. There were connections to private intelligence firms, references to covert operations, and something labeled Operation Stargazer, the details of which were redacted almost entirely except one line: "Ensure media compliance. Neutralize leaks." Will stared at the screen, disbelief turning into nausea. This was impossible. This wasn't just a celebrity scandal. It was something deeper, something that tied the entertainment industry to political machinations, corporate espionage, and possibly worse. His first instinct was to destroy it, pretend he never saw it. But then he remembered years of being in the public eye, seeing how narratives were controlled, how stories were buried. This time he couldn't look away. He paced his living room for hours, racked with indecision. Until a name surfaced in his mind, someone fearless, someone with the skills to navigate this: Maya Rodriguez, an investigative journalist who'd taken down corrupt politicians and never backed down. But even before he could dial her number, headlights flashed across his window, a car idling far too long. Something told Will he was already being watched. Will spent the night pacing, phone in hand, debating whether to make the call. Every fiber of his being screamed that once he crossed this line, there was no turning back. But the alternative, silence, felt even more dangerous. He finally dialed. Maya Rodriguez picked up after 2 rings. Her voice was sharp, alert, as if she never truly slept. "Will Smith, this is unexpected. I don't have time to explain everything over the phone. I have something big, bigger than anything you've ever covered. But I need to know, can I trust you?" There was a pause. "Meet me, tonight. No electronics. Griffith Park, the old observatory, midnight. Click." As Will prepared, he noticed his phone screen flickering. Then it powered off, dead, despite having a full charge moments earlier. His laptop followed. Even his smart TV glitched out, a line of static crawling across the screen before fading to black. The paranoia wasn't just paranoia anymore. Someone was watching. Someone was already interfering. At Griffith Park, under the pale glow of the moon, Maya arrived wearing a leather jacket, a messenger bag slung over her shoulder. Her eyes scanned the darkness with the precision of someone who lived in a constant state of caution. "Show me," she demanded. Will pulled out the USB and a printed document from the envelope. Maya unfolded the pages, her expression shifting from skepticism to horror. "Oh my God, Will, this is beyond just Hollywood gossip. This is these criminal networks, laundering. Look at these names. These are political donors, intelligence contractors, and Diddy's right at the center." Will nodded, jaw clenched. "It gets worse. Look at the last section." Maya skimmed down, her fingers trembled slightly. "Operation Stargazer. Neutralize leaks. Media compliance protocols. Will, this is coordinated suppression. This isn't just protecting reputations. This is controlling narratives on a national level." Suddenly, the crunch of gravel snapped their attention to the pathway behind them. Headlights flared from a black SUV creeping toward their position. "We need to move now," Maya snapped. They ducked into the trees, adrenaline surging. As they sprinted, Maya whispered, "You have no idea how deep this goes. I've heard whispers before. People who tried to dig, they disappear." As they reached her car, parked off a service road, Will glanced over his shoulder. Two figures stepped out of the SUV, scanning the area with flashlights and earpieces. Tactical, efficient, not random. Back at Maya's apartment, a fortress of analog locks, physical files, and no smart devices, they spread out the data. Maya began cross-referencing the names in the documents with her own database of unsolved investigations. Patterns emerged almost immediately. "Look at this. Missing persons tied to former label executives. Journalists who died in car crashes after covering celebrity financial crimes. And here," she pointed to a string of shell companies, "a front tied directly to Diddy's enterprise, but also listed under a contractor for a federal surveillance agency. What the hell?" Will rubbed his temples. "It feels like a nightmare. I don't know what I thought. Maybe some shady deals, tax evasion, not this." Before Maya could respond, a notification popped up on her secure terminal, an encrypted message. "Stop digging. Last warning." Her face went pale. "No one has this address. This system isn't connected to anything. How did they—" Will's phone, thought dead, suddenly lit up on the table. One notification. A photo. It was his family. "Taken tonight." Someone had been right outside his house. The message under it was simple. "Walk away, or everything you love disappears." Will's heart pounded as he stared at the photo on his phone. His family, Jada, the kids, smiling unknowingly in their living room, captured from outside through a window. The image was time-stamped less than an hour ago. Maya leaned in, her face tightening. "They're not bluffing. This is real. You're in it now, and so am I." But instead of retreating, Maya doubled down. "If they're watching us, it means we're close to something they really don't want out." Her voice trembled, but her determination overpowered the fear. "We find out what?" The next step was risky. They needed someone from the inside, someone who knew how Diddy's world really operated. Maya made a call using a burner phone to a source she'd cultivated over years, Marcus Green. Marcus was a former bodyguard for several high-profile celebrities, including Diddy. He left the industry under suspicious circumstances, rumors of payouts and threats. No one had heard from him in years. At first, Marcus refused. "No, hell no, you don't understand. You touch this. You're already dead. I walked away for a reason." Maya persisted. "You walked away, but the game didn't let you go, did it? They're still out there, and they still control everything." Silence. Then a heavy sigh. "Fine. Meet me at the ironworks downtown. Midnight. Come alone." Will and Maya arrived early. The ironworks was an abandoned factory on the edge of downtown LA, a decaying monument to a forgotten industrial age. Shadows loomed large in the broken windows, the air thick with rust and damp. Marcus emerged from the darkness, taller than Will remembered, his beard now streaked with grey, eyes scanning constantly. "You brought him—" Marcus grunted, nodding toward Will. "Didn't think the Fresh Prince had it in him." "Neither did I," Will shot back. Marcus sat on a crate, lit a cigarette with shaking hands, and finally spoke. "Everything in those files, it's real, and worse. You think Diddy's at the top? No. He's just one part of the machine. This thing, it's deeper. Entertainment, politics, law enforcement, all tied together." Maya pushed. "What's Operation Stargazer?" Marcus flinched visibly. "I wasn't supposed to know, but I heard things. Stargazer is about narrative control. It's not just about silencing scandals. It's about steering public perception. What you see in the media, who rises, who falls. It's all curated. Stars that don't play ball and fade. Or worse." Will's stomach turned. "You're saying careers are destroyed on purpose? People killed?" "Yeah," Marcus confirmed grimly. "I've seen the cleanup crews. Disappearances made to look like accidents. Leaks that never see the light of day. And anyone who talks—" He mimed a gun to his head. Suddenly, Marcus stood, pacing. "The document you have, it's just one part. The real file. The master ledger. That's what they're scared of. It's encrypted. It tracks everything. Payments, operations, who's pulling the strings, and guess what? Last I heard, it's hidden in a secure server, offshore, tied to a shell company called Orion Nexus." Maya scribbled furiously. "Where's the server?" Marcus shook his head. "That's the thing. No one knows. But there's a guy. They call him the broker. He moves digital assets for the syndicate." "He knows." Before Marcus could say more, a distant clatter echoed. Boots, voices, flashlights swept the shadows. "They found us," Marcus hissed. "Move!" A red laser dot danced across the wall, then another. Will dove, grabbing Maya as a silenced shot thudded into the metal beam above them. They scrambled toward an exit as figures in tactical gear closed in. As they fled into the night, one thing was terrifyingly clear. The clock was ticking, and they were now targets. Bullets thudded into rusted beams and concrete as Will, Maya, and Marcus sprinted through the skeletal remains of the ironworks. The tactical squad's footsteps thundered behind them, amplified by the hollow emptiness of the factory. "Left!" Marcus shouted, shoving open a corroded side door that led into a maze of shipping containers. They ducked inside, holding their breath as laser sights swept past. The muffled radio chatter from the squad confirmed what Will feared. They weren't cops. These were private contractors, hired guns. As they crawled through a gap in the fence, Maya's burner phone buzzed, a single encrypted message from an anonymous source she'd contacted earlier. "The broker is in New York. Last known location, the Glass Tower. 3rd floor. Go now." No time to waste. By morning, they were on the first flight to New York. Tension hung like a storm cloud. Marcus kept scanning the terminal, visibly sweating. "I shouldn't be here. I'm dead if they spot me." In Manhattan, the Glass Tower gleamed, a modern fortress of mirrored windows and biometric scanners. The broker wasn't just hiding. He was protected. Maya managed to fake credentials with her contacts, getting them into the building under the guise of tech consultants. But the closer they got to the 3rd floor, the heavier the air felt. The doors opened to reveal a pristine office filled with rows of servers, and in the center, a man in an immaculate suit leaning casually against his desk. "I was wondering when you'd show up," the broker said, smiling like a man who always controlled the game. "Mr. Smith, Ms. Rodriguez, and Marcus, didn't expect you to crawl out of whatever hole you've been hiding in." Maya wasted no time. "We know about Orion Nexus. We know about Operation Stargazer. Give us the ledger." The broker chuckled, swirling whiskey in his glass. "You think it's that simple. You don't get it. This isn't just Diddy. It's not just Hollywood. It's global. Politicians, CEOs, intelligence agencies. You leak this, and the world burns." "Then let it burn," Will growled. The broker's smile faded. You don't understand the consequences. Civil unrest, economic collapse. People don't want the truth, they want the illusion. We'll take that risk, Maya shot back. The broker sighed. Fine. You want it? It's here. He tapped a server behind him. But it's encrypted with a biometric key. Mine. Kill me and it locks forever. Take it, and everyone starts hunting you. A sudden crash, the front door exploded inward. Agent Carter stormed in with a tactical team, guns drawn. Step away from the servers, he barked. Will spun toward him. You're part of this, Carter sneered. Part of it? I clean it. You were supposed to be controllable, Will. Harmless. But now, you've become a liability. Guns raised on both sides. A standoff. Maya whispered, We stream this. Now. Her hand slipped to a hidden button on her jacket. Live broadcast initiated. Carter noticed too late. The feed was already streaming. To millions. Everything you say is being heard right now, Maya declared. So, go ahead. Pull the trigger. Carter's face twisted in fury. But shooting now meant exposing himself to the world. The broker sighed deeply, realizing the tide had turned. Fine, take it. But know this. Once the truth is out, there's no going back. Maya rushed to the server, plugged in a drive, and downloaded the master ledger. Terabytes of damning evidence flowed onto a digital reckoning. As sirens wailed in the distance, likely both real cops and syndicate reinforcements, Carter growled, This isn't over. He slipped into the shadows before backup arrived. The broker simply smiled. You think you've won, but the game's bigger than you can imagine. The files hit the internet like a tsunami. Within hours, major news outlets picked up the leak. Social media exploded. Hashtags trended worldwide. Stargazer files, Diddy exposed, Hollywood conspiracy. Thousands of documents flooded every corner of the web. Financial records, secret communications, video evidence, and even transcripts of blackmail operations. Diddy issued a public statement, a slickly produced video where he denied everything. But something was different. His usual bravado was gone. His voice shook slightly, and then radio silence. He vanished. No more appearances. No one knew where he went. Agent Carter disappeared. No trace. Some said he was eliminated by the very organization he once served. Others whispered that he went underground, planning his next move. The fallout was immediate. CEOs resigned overnight. Political figures were arrested. Media moguls scrambled to deny involvement. Lawsuits flooded the courts. Protesters filled the streets in Los Angeles, New York, London, and even Tokyo, demanding justice and transparency. Will Smith sat in his living room, watching it all unfold on TV. The same living room where this nightmare had begun. His hands trembled, not from fear anymore, but from relief. He had done it. He broke the cycle. For once the truth wasn't buried, but the cost was real. His Hollywood career, torched. Studios pulled contracts, brands dropped endorsements. Some friends ghosted him, others, the real ones, stood by. But the public? The public hailed him as a hero. Maya Rodriguez became the face of the investigation. Her reporting was everywhere. CNN, BBC, podcasts, documentaries. Offers poured in for books, speaking tours, and film rights, but she declined most. This isn't about fame, she told reporters. It's about accountability. Marcus Green vanished again, but not before leaving Will and Maya a handwritten note. You cracked the door open. Stay ready because they won't stop. Even the broker, gone. His office was wiped clean within 24 hours of the leak. Some speculated he never existed. Others believed he was simply another player, moving on to the next game board. The world had changed, but the question lingered. For how long? One evening, as Will sat scrolling through the endless news coverage, his phone buzzed, a new message, no sender ID. This was just one layer. Ready for the next? His pulse quickened. He glanced at Maya's number, hovered over the call button, then smiled slightly. Yeah, let's do it. As the screen faded to black, a voiceover echoed. If you want to stay updated as this story develops even further, make sure to subscribe now. And if you thought this was wild, click the video on your screen right now to uncover another shocking scandal involving Hollywood's elite. Trust me, it's even crazier.